$1 million is on the line today for harness racing's crown jewel, the Hambletonian. This year, a 27-year-old trainer named Marcus Malanda is the man to beat here at the Meadowlands, fully loaded with a squad of talented 3-year-old colts. Can the rising star that is Malanda be denied? The 94th edition of the Hambletonian is next.
The sun shines brightly today on the fun, festive, and carnival-like atmosphere that is Hambletonian Day at the Meadowlands in East Rutherford, New Jersey. Ideal weather and track conditions are in place. Mother Nature doing her part to contribute to the greatest day in harness racing. The greatest, the biggest, and the biggest day in harness racing deserves the sport's biggest purses. And that's what's on tap today. A total of $3.7 million for our Hambletonian Day program, highlighted by the $1 million Hambletonian Final, preceded by the John Cashman Memorial and the Hambletonian Oaks for 3-year-old filly Trotters. Hello, everyone. I'm Gary Seibel, and welcome to CBS Sports Network's coverage of the 94th Hambletonian. I'm joined by Dave Brower, longtime Meadowlands racing analyst and odds maker. And Dave, as you well know, it hasn't been since 2013 that we have had a favorite win the Hambletonian Final. Is that going to change today?
I think it may, Gary. Heading into today's eliminations, which we will show you later, everybody's favorite was named Green Shoe. He's trained by the hottest guy in harness racing, the 27-year-old Marcus Malanda. He's driven by Hall of Famer Brian Sears, who's won the Hambletonian 3 times. And I'll tell you what, he's very much the horse to beat unless he beats himself.
How does such a young guy have such great horses?
Well, he's got a great owner. Anders Strom is his name. He goes by the Crisanta Incorporated, and he has entrusted his high-priced horse flesh to the 27-year-old Malanda here. It's worked out great so far, and today they could both be the stars of the day.
Well, the third member of our broadcast team is currently standing by with the young phenom, Marcus Malanda, and he's going to find out why. All the meteoric rise, all the hype about himself. He may be quite modest about it, though. Greg?
Absolutely. Marcus, just 27 years old. Here you are, the man of the hour on Hambletonian Day. How does a 27-year-old get here on the sport's biggest stage like this?
Well, first of all, it's hard work, you know, and we're really starting to work in a young age, and then, results been very good. You know, I have a lot of owners that's, giving me good horses, and we've been great so far.
I read an article where you were always enthralled with checking up on race results from the United States, and one day wanted to be here. Maybe tell us about that ultimate decision and when you made the move.
Well, I always loved this country, you know, and in a young age, I did want to try it out one time, and so I came out here. We worked a year or a season for Jimmy Takter. I learned a lot, and then we bought a farm here, my family, and then I took my own trainer license and got a few horses, and then we just built the barn up.
The Hambletonian can be a pressure cooker. What's this last week been like? Has it been pressure or has it been fun?
Both really. You know, it's fun. You know, you have some really nice and talented colts, but of course a lot of pressure too. But I rather take the pressure than the horses. You know, it's I rather not so. I try to not keep so much people in the barn. You know, try to be as normal as possible, and just keep. I'd be glad to answer all the questions and so on, as long as it doesn't bother the horses.
And how has the response been from back in Sweden? Have you been hearing from a lot of folks back home?
Yeah, of course. They're happy for me, and a lot of friends and so on. So, and there's a lot of Swedish people here today as well. So
they'll be tuning in worldwide today. We want to thank you for joining us, and best of luck.
Thank you,
Marcus Malanda, guys.
All right, Greg Blanchard. Greg will be in the paddock in the winner's circle getting all the interviews for us throughout the day. An amazing story about Marcus Malanda. And the fact of the matter is, Dave, that the name Jimmy Takter, who Marcus mentioned, runs through the names of lots of young people in the sport that have really come up through his tutelage.
And Jimmy Takter chose to retire from training at the end of the last season, Gary. A little bit of a surprise to all of us. He's kind of in the wings right now, helping his longtime assistant Per Engblom and his daughter Nancy Johansson here. We may even have a little surprise for you coming up a little later in the show about Mr. Takter.
All right, Marcus even has a horse in our first live race today who has a big shot, Crisanta De La Noche.
And
Go ahead. Yep.
And Crisanta De La Noche is a horse that won last year's $1 million Yonkers International. As we bring up the current odds, Gary, right now a ton of support for number 9 Six Pack. He had a bad day on Hamiltonian Day last year for his trainer and driver, 60-year-old Oka Svanstad. Look at that price, 6-5 right now. I thought all of the power laid to the inside in here. The top older trotter in the sport right now, Gary, is number 2 Guardian Angel AS for Tim Tetrick and Annette Lorenzen. He comes off a world record win, a track record win up in Massachusetts, and then we've got a Hambletonian champion from a couple of years ago, Marion Marauder, on the rail with Scott Zeron for the Wellwood family. They've been pointing for this race all year. He won it last year, so we will see if he can defend his title.
And Six Pack, again, a disappointing day last year on Hambletonian Day, but has the track record for the fastest 3-year-old trotting colt mark at 150 flat.
And that will make a difference here. We'll probably see some speed from him to the outside. The Cashman this year is just a 1-mile race. Last year was a 1 1/8 miles. He'll get involved early, but I'll tell you what, it hasn't been Six Pack's year so far. He enters this Cashman final with a record of just 1 for 5. We'll see if he can make up for it in a hurry. I've heard off the record that Mr. Svanstad is very happy with his training up to this point.
And there's a look at Marion Marauder. Again, Scott Zeron becoming the youngest trotting Triple Crown winner with Marion Marauder back in 2016. The horse is now 6 years old, and Dave, he didn't have the best of times, but now he seems to be back in form again after that spectacular 3-year-old season.
He did, and he's earned $3.1 million in his career for Marion Wellwood, Paula Wellwood, and Devin Keeling. Scott Zeron has been his pilot along the way here. By design, he's only had 3 starts up until today. They wanted to defend their championship with Marion Marauder here in the Cashman. He got lucky at the post draw with the inside slot, so that will give pilot 30-year-old Mr. Zeron lots of options when they spring the gate, because I'm not really sure how this one's going to go early, Gary. I just know that Six Pack is going to leave for sure.
All right, so Six Pack expected to leave and set the tempo here. There is a look at Guardian Angel AS, 5-2. Currently his 152 victory in the Cleveland Classic was the fastest trotting mile ever at Northfield Park and the fastest race mile ever by a male trotter on any half-mile track. After that, he won the Spirit of Massachusetts in a track record 151-3 for an older male trotter at Plainridge Park. So obviously this horse is in razor sharp
He's
form.
in unbelievable form right now, and that win up at Plainridge was accomplished last Sunday, believe it or not. 151-3 is the big favorite, and in that race, Gary, he wired the field from post 6. In many races past, Guardian Angel AS kind of grinds into the race and tries to mow you down, but I want to tell you one more thing about Guardian Angel odds. He had a real bad Hambletonian day here 2 years ago when he was the one that was interfered with in the stretch, causing the disqualification of What the Hill, the first time there had ever been a disqualification in the 93-year history prior to that.
All right, we'd heard from Marcus Malanda earlier, and now we want to take a look at his charge in here, talking about the 6, Crisanta De La Noche, who won the Cutler Memorial earlier, and we are seeing Tim Tetrick in the, or excuse me, Brian Sears in the colors of owner Courant Incorporated. It's not uncommon in Europe for the drivers to wear the owner's colors.
We'll see that a couple of times today. We have 2 in this race. Andy Miller will wear the Lindy Farms colors when he is driving number 4 Eurobond, so we won't see the orange crush, as we like to call it. But as for Crisanta De La Noche, here's what his trainer had to say. He wished that a couple of more horses entered this race, because then it would have been at the added distance of a 1 1/8 miles. We're only going a mile today. That works against Crisanta De La Noche here. And he will take time off after this race to prepare to defend his title in that Yonkers International coming up later this fall.
All right, so Crisanta De La Noche for Marcus Malanda on the board in 3 of 5. And a look at the 9 6-pack. Again, the 3-year-old trotting colt track record holder here at the Meadowlands. Åke Svanstedt has certainly driven aggressively, and I expect to see that here with 6-pack.
He sure drove aggressively in last month's graduate final, which ended up being the fastest mile ever trotted here. It was won by Atlanta. You remember her name as the Hambletonian champion last year. She flew home to nail 6-pack by a neck in the final strides. It was a tremendous effort for 6-pack. He came back with after that with a second-tier start, slow start in the Hambo maturity. That did not work out well for him. It will be a complete change of tactics here.
All right, so we're getting set for the John Cashman Memorial, named after the late Hall of Fame harness racing executive, longtime president of Castleton Farm, one of the sport's leading standardbred nurseries for decades. And John, truly one of the visionaries in the sport, and my former boss many years ago at Pompano Park.
I remember him well, and here's a horse that could possibly upset if you want to take a chance. There are those Lindy Farms colors that Andy Miller is wearing, the Antonacci family, which is famous in harness racing. They transferred Eurobond, the 4-year-old, over to Andy and Julie Miller a month ago. The result has been 3 straight wins, each in faster time, each is the heavy favorite. Yes, this is a big step up in class because these are the best older trotters in the sport, but Eurobond has looked sensational up to this point. We're going to find out whether he can play with the big boys.
Well, Guardian Angel AS, Dave, has shown plenty of early speed as well, but from post position number 2, you have to think that Tim Tetrick will be thrilled if 6-pack goes and lets him sit right behind.
If that's the way he wants to draw it up in his head, that's great, but you and I both know everything changes when that starting gate opens here. But from the inside post, he can plot his own destiny. If there's not much pace up front early, he'll move to the front. If there is much pace up front, he can come to the outside and grind. He's done that and won in that fashion before. I'm just shocked that he isn't the favorite in this particular spot. He's on the board as I peer over at it at odds of 2-1, whereas 6-pack is 7-5. The rest are between 7 and 99-1. So we've got a good edition of the Cashman coming up. Can't wait to see how it plays out, and looking forward to see who wins.
The John Cashman Memorial, formerly known as the Nat Ray, named after the first winning driver of the Hambletonian back in 1926, the winning horse, Guy McKinney. And after the passing of John Cashman Jr., the race was a change to honor his memory. So the Nat Ray, now the Cashman, and the horses are moving in behind the gate.
And they all look pretty good. We've given you just about most of the field here on camera. These are professional racehorses, Gary, so they know what their job is. You know, it's hot here today at the Meadowlands, but it's not too hot. Everything is in place for, water buckets and hoses and everything. These horses look professional. They don't even look like they're washed out very much. So ideal conditions for this wonderful weather Hambletonian day.
All right, Resolve won the last 2 editions. Only one 3-time winner of the John Cashman Memorial. One of the greatest mares ever to look through a bridle. Her name, Moneymaker. She won it 3 times in 1997, 98, and 2000. Set to go. We're going to send it up to track announcer Ken Workington in his 28th year calling races here at the Meadowlands.
Thanks very much, Gary. And a field of 10 lined up here, free for all trotters. It's the John Cashman Memorial, $280,000, sponsored by the Muscle Hill Syndicate, Southwind Farms, Jerry and Teresa Silva. 7-5 on 9 6-pack, 2-1 on the 2 Guardian Angel AS. Here they come for race 10. They're off and trotting. Crystal Fashion on the outside, South Fast. 6-pack tried to leave out of there. $50 bill. And from the inside, it's Euro Bond with early speed into the first turn. Crystal Fashion, Euro Bond, 6-pack on the outside, joins the fray. Guardian Angel AS is going to settle in the 4th position for now. $50 bill is 5th in front of Marion Marauder 6th. Trolley goes up on the outside, 7th. Now he's reined back in. Then it's Crisanta De La Noche in tight lines. The early trailer is Southwind Chrome. Hot quarter here, 26-3 on a beautiful day at the Meadowlands across the backstretch. 6-pack, the world champion and Dan Patch Award winner with Åke Svanstedt seizing command. Crystal Fashion in the 2nd spot. Euro Bond, fresh off world record performance there. Guardian Angel Oz is reined into 4th right now. And $50 bill is still 5th on the cones. Then Marion Marauder, followed by Trolley. and then Crisanta De La Noche in tight lines in Southwind Chrome. Aki's Funstead rating six-pack here in 55 seconds. Tactical advantage to six-pack onto the far turn. Crystal Fashion second. Here comes a charge from Guardian Angel AS on the outside. 8-5 right now, and Tetrick's got him in gear as they head to three-quarters. So they hook up. It's six-pack, and on the outside, Guardian Angel AS. Those two stride for stride with Crystal Fashion on the inside third. $50 bill on the outside fourth. Needs to do more. Euro Bond is pinned in fifth. Marion Marauder sixth. They battle through three-quarters in 1:23.1, and they set sail for home in the Cashman. Six-pack on the inside. It's six-pack, and Guardian Angel AS on the outside. Crystal Fashion angles three wide for the drive. And then Euro Bond and $50 bill. Three across the track. Here comes Crystal Fashion and the Buckeye Dave Miller. Crystal Fashion at 8-1. Crystal Fashion, then Guardian Angel AS. Six-pack and Euro Bond. Crystal Fashion, 150.
And what a brilliant performance by Crystal Fashion. Just waiting till the last minute. Great drive by Dave Miller.
Dave Miller with the perfect steer there, Gary. And we've got an 8-1 upset here with Crystal Fashion and its connections that we're going to hear about all day. Jim Campbell, 92-year-old owner, Jules Siegel of the Fashion Farms. He purchased this horse as a yearling. He set a record in the elimination of the Hamiltonian last year, and he's going to wear down the two favorites, Gary, late. That is six-pack on the inside, Guardian Angel Oz between. They hit the wire, and Crystal Fashion will win it by about a half a length.
Well, if you go up against Okas Fonstead, you better be confident you have plenty of horse to get on by, because that's pretty much his trademark. He won't let you get on by.
We told you it'd be a great race, a good battle, and it was a true slugfest through the lane, and Crystal Fashion was the eventual winner there. He didn't get it done in the Hamiltonian final last year, so it's a little comeuppance, I guess, for him today.
Fourth win in 8 starts this year for Crystal Fashion, a 4-year-old gelding by Cantab Hall, the winner of 9 of 17 last year, and over $1.5 million. All right, we are just getting started on Hambletonian Day 2019. We'll return in a moment.
Shake up the rules. Make some friends. Let the emotions fly. This court is about making a racket. This court is all for one, and we win for all. World Team Tennis is a game changer. Tonight on CBS Sports Network.
Hanover Shoe Farms is proud to introduce our class of 2019, including Ethan T. Hanover, bar-hopping brother to Emoticon Hanover, Batter Up Hanover, first crop of betting line out of a daughter of Bunny Lake, Good as Him Hanover, full brother to Father Patrick, Faraday Hanover, full sister to Filibuster Hanover, Derailed Hanover, Cantab Hall's sister to Donato Hanover, over 200 other exceptional yearlings selling this fall.
How does Armor All harness the power of the Viking to clean and protect your car?
We're gonna work today. I can feel it.
Mind your horns this time, little fella.
You mind your horns, Terry?
I go by Tormuson now.
Yeah, he goes by Tormuson now.
Dust, dead, grime, dead.
Look, UV rays, go now.
Hurry, it's squeezing.
Armor All, protectors of cars, defenders of fresh.
Right now, lease the Infiniti QX50 for $379 a month, plus get a $1,000 summer bonus now during the Infiniti Plus Summer Sales event.
We sat down with pet lovers to ask why they love shopping at Chewy.com.
Nala's a big girl, so we have to get these big bags of food. It adds up after a while. With Chewy.com, we can get all that food for a great price. Nala's happy and healthy and living her best life.
I really wanted another dog. He was super worried about the money.
Yes.
Thanks to Chewy.com, we can save money on food and toys and even their prescription medicines.
So finally, I broke down.
And we were able to rescue Max.
Save 30% on your first order today at Chewy.com.
Keeping the night interesting is all about setting the right tone. Lower carbs, lower calories, higher expectations. The light beer you've been waiting for has arrived. Corona Premier.
It's time to make way for what's next. It's time to make way for our league in a new home.
The 2019 Hamiltonian Stakes on CBS Sports Network is sponsored by New Jersey Travel and Tourism. Go to visitnj.org.
Always special winning on Hambletonian Day. It elicits a smile from Hall of Famer David Miller, getting the job done with Crystal Fashion, who, by the way, won the first elimination as the favorite last year in the Hambletonian and wound up, well, wasn't in the favorite in the elim, but was the favorite in the final, where he wound up finishing fourth, but he was an elim winner in last year's Hamiltonian.
And Gary, that truly was a Hall of Fame drive. The second Cashman win for driver David Miller. He won it back in 1999 with Magician. And what a super day for these connections all around. Earlier on the card in the 2-year-old Colt Trot, the Peter Houghton Memorial, these guys teamed up to win with Real Cool Sam, the owner, the trainer, and the driver here. Real Cool Sam, you know who he's named after? Our late colleague, Mr. Sam McKee.
And you saw in the winner's circle there, owner, breeder, Jules Siegel of Fashion Farm. He and his late wife, Arlene, founding Fashion Farms and having so much success over the years. And the late John Cashman Jr.'s wife, Nancy, there, his son, John III, also his daughter, Susan, the only guy missing this year, New York Yankees general manager Brian Cashman. He's dealing with, I think, a doubleheader today at Yankee Stadium.
Yeah. They've got a little series with the arch rivals, the Boston Red Sox, this weekend, so that will occupy his time. But I got a feeling the phone's already rung, and they've given him the result and how special it was for these connections as well. Crystal Fashion really earned it today. What a magnificent performance.
All right, time to shift our attention now to our big race, the Hambletonian. We still have the Oaks coming up, but we want to take a look at the Hambletonian Eliminations contested a little bit more than an hour ago. In here, we had, I'd say, the more open of the two, but also possibly the weaker of the two, in the sense that one of the leading contenders, Green Shoe, the heavy favorite in his elimination, was in the next one, race number 9. But this is race 8, Dave.
This is race 8, and you see the bettors have clearly made a statement here. They are making the undefeated Jim Pansy with 12 for 12 slate the overwhelming favorite at odds of 2-5. That is one of the two in here, trained by Marcus Malanda. The other is number 8, Green Manalishi here, and we'll see how this, whether or not they can overcome the outside post as we pick it up right at the start here. Lots of levers from the outside, and watch Brian Sears with number 7, Jim Pansy. He's in a tough spot here, Gary. He ended up not going on with it right there, but Tim Tetrick, in the colors of the owner, Courant Incorporated, goes for it with Green Manalishi. He's going to take a brief seat. On the inside, you see driver Scott Zeron with the 1 Cantab Fashion protecting his position. On the outside, Osturk at odds of 30-1 are going to press on with it. That is Yannick Gingras, and they're going to make it to the front past that very fast first quarter, 26-3. That equals the fastest ever here in the Hambletonian. Osturk at 30-1 takes over. On the inside, Cantab Fashion sitting third, Summit in sight. Green Manalishi sits fourth, but he's ready to pull the trigger.
All right, we'll pick up the last half with track announcer Ken Workington.
We're at the half. It's Osturch in front there. 30-1 long shot in 54-4. Pretty strong pace for Osturch as they race to the far turn. And now on the outside, here comes Green Manalishi, and Tim Tetrick's got him in gear. Now second on the outside. Cantab Fashion is third with 3/8 to go. Swandre the Giant fourth on the outside. Summit in sight is fifth. And Jim Pansy has some work to do, gapping his cover at third over sixth. And he is stride for stride with Soul Strong on the inside is pinned in. And the trailer as they pass 3/4 is Mr. Victor. At 3/4, Green Manalishi on the outside. Osturch trying to go all the way. 1:23. It's a well-rated Osturch in front. Osturch, Green Manalishi on the outside, pouring it on. Can-Tap Fashion and Scott Ceron from the inside full out. Then it's Swandre the Giant and Jim Pansy gets in gear late. Ostrich under heavy pressure. Getting to him is Green Manalishi. Green Manalishi inching in. Green Manalishi! And then Ostrich. And flying late was Soul Strong right there with Jim Pansy. And then close Can-Tap Fashion or Swandre the Giant. 150-3.
Well, if you're a fan of Fleetwood Mac or even the band Judas Priest, which is owner Anders Strom's favorite band, that's Judas Priest, you'll recognize this name, Green Manalishi. It is a Fleetwood Mac tune, and Green Manalishi comes away with the win in the first Hamiltonian elimination after a first over trip.
It was a tough trip, Gary. He earned it to overcome that outside post. He's battling it out on the outside with the long shot leader, that's Osterch, but look at Tim Tetrick dig in and ask for his best. He's going to get that response. There's Jim Pansy, the big favorite on the in-between horses, and Soul Strong comes out of nowhere after saving ground. He had the best late kick, but here you go, Gary. We've got a 9-1 upset in our first Hamiltonian elimination.
So Green Manalishi picking up his third win in 5 starts this year. Current Incorporated of Delray Beach, the owner, and again, that's Anders Strom, Current Incorporated. There is a look at what we have coming up in the first elimination as far as the order of finish is concerned, and the top 5 advance to the final.
And 4th and 5th were Jim Pansy and Can-Tap Fashion. But Gary, what's most important about winning your Hamiltonian elimination is that you are guaranteed post protection. You will draw for a post 1 through 5 there, so Green Manalishi doesn't have to worry about that. Jim Pansy may have to worry about it after what I would have to call a disappointing performance. The winner, though, he cost a lot of money. He was Swedish bred, and he cost 3 million kroner to buy at public auction. It set a record that equates to about 365,000 US. So Mr. Strom, Courant Incorporated, they buy good horses.
They sure do, and they buy a lot of them. In the meantime, race number 9, our second elimination for the $1 million Hamiltonian final. And here is the horse that some people feel might be the second coming of Muscle Hill, who won the Hamiltonian in 2009 and was the last 3-year-old trotter to be named Horse of the Year.
Green Shoe had a troubled 2-year-old season where he won 2 of his 4 starts and made breaks in every race. This year as a sophomore, Gary, he's been the perfect gentleman thanks to the driving of Brian Sears, who really, gets along with this horse. Now here's the start. Watch Green Shoe in the middle of the pack there throw his head a couple of times. That had to give Mr. Sears a couple of fits, but he gets him away safely in the middle of the pack. We expected to see big-time speed from Marseille as he loops the entire field into the first turn for Oka Svanstedt. But once we were into that first turn, trainer Marcus Malander feels better. He gets so nervous at the start of Green Shoe's races, Gary, he doesn't even watch. He just listens to Ken Workington's call.
And so as they move on to the backstretch now, we've got 2 long shots here, but Green Shoe is in such a perfect position. Brian Sears doesn't have to worry about being locked in. Nobody's coming. He closes the gap in 3rd and will eventually take off and go after the leader.
Interesting move right there by second place Forbidden Trade Bob McClure. He came to the outside to try and push the issue. He went back in, but we all know the big move from Green Shoe is coming imminently.
And you will see that as we pick up the second half call. Once again, here is track announcer Ken Workington.
Off stride. Half was a rated 56 seconds. Aki Svanstedt and Marseille riding along here by 2.5 lengths. But here comes Green Shoe in gear. Green Shoe charging up on the outside and up and after Marseille with 3/8 to go. And live cover for Don't Let Him now 3rd and gaining. Forbidden Trade is back to 4th. That's Pilot Discretion getting in gear on the outside. 5th. Reign of Honor is 6th. And Green Shoe takes the lead with authority and opens up by 2 on Marseille. Green Shoe, Marseille, Don't Let Him 3rd on the outside. 3/4, 123 and 3:27 and 3 in that 3rd quarter. Green Shoe opens up by 3.5, 4. Don't Let Him on the outside of Marseille. Those 2 sparring for 2nd. Forbidden Trade is 3rd. Pilot Discretion on the outside. Angles out for a late bid. But it's Green Shoe. He's wrapped up and cruising here for Brian Sears. Green Shoe puts his best foot forward, and it's Green Shoe a convincing winner. And then close between Don't Let Him or Forbidden Trade. And then Pilot Discretion and Marseille. Green Shoe sets the tone here, 150 and 2.
And Green Shoe with a huge performance today for Brian Sears, and just basically cruised to the wire.
As advertised, Gary, he delivered the goods once he safely navigated this start for Brian Sears under that expert Hall of Fame handling. And I'll tell you what, the final time wrapped up, as you heard in Ken Workington's call, was 150 and 2/5. That is 1/5 off the Hambletonian record set by Muscle Hill 10 years ago. Look at Brian Sears here. This is a nice, easy coast. That's exactly what you want for the first of his 2 races today.
Well, owner Anders Strom now has 3 in the Hambletonian final, all starting with the letter G. Why? Well, he names crops of horses with the first letter the same, and in 2016, that letter was G. Green Shoe taking the second Hambletonian elimination. Again, a live look at the Meadowlands, East Rutherford, New Jersey. A beautiful day. And Dave, as you pointed out earlier, yeah, it's warm. We're warm here on the set. But horses are used to this. They spend outside all day, and there's plenty of water buckets, plenty of water hoses. They are feeling good. The fact that they have to race twice the Hambletonian horses today, not an issue. You can ask any of the trainers, and they will tell you the same.
Gary,
there's a look at the current Hambletonian odds.
And 3 to 5, that's the morning line on Green Shoe that I just made from the set a couple of minutes ago. After they drew the final post here, that was Brian Sears' choice. Jim Pansy will now be driven by Dave Miller in the final.
All right, so we are going to take a quick break right now. We've got the Hambletonian Oaks for $500,000 coming up after a quick break. You're watching Hambletonian here on CBS Sports Network.
Alaraj Farms for more than 2 decades. Alaraj Farms has been a leading breeder of stakes-winning trotters with prestige settings in New York and Pennsylvania. Alaraj Farms is the home to champion broodmares producing millionaires like Fern, Muscles Marinara, Dewey Color in the Line, and Whiskey Tax. Stars like Barn Dolls, Jezzy, an Opulent Yankee, and $480,000 sales topper Beautiful Sin. Yearlings offered at the sport's major auctions. Alaraj Farms, a trendsetter in modern trotting. For more info, log on to alarajfarm.com.
Shh. We're sneaking. Just like IHOP sneaking into the chicken game with crispy chicken made with all-natural chicken breast. Actually, let's go back to IHOP.
New chicken and pancakes, only $6.99 at IHOP.
With all that USAA offers, why go with anybody else? We know their rates are good. We know that they're always going to take care of us.
It was an instant savings, and I should have changed a long time ago.
We're the Tennies, and we're USAA members for life.
Call USAA to start saving on insurance today.
I've scored some pretty good deals on Poshmark, like the Bread Air Jordan 1. This is my favorite sneaker of all time. So I was able to find a pair really easily without spending a crazy amount of money.
Get $5 off your first order. Download the free Poshmark app now and use offer code LOVEPOSH.
Lower carbs, lower calories, higher expectations. The light beer you've been waiting for has arrived.
Non-attorney spokesperson. This is a paid advertisement for legal services sponsored by Nightline Legal. Cases assigned on a random basis to participating law firms. See disclaimer for law firms.
Attention military personnel. If you or a loved one served in the military between 2002 to 2016 and later experienced hearing loss or tinnitus, call right now. You may be entitled to financial compensation. The manufacturer of Combat Arms earplugs recently paid $9.1 million to settle allegations that the company knowingly sold defective earplugs to the military for more than a decade. Millions of service members who were issued Combat Arms earplugs while engaging in foreign conflicts may have been exposed to serious risk by this dangerous and defective product. If you or a loved one served in the military between 2002 to 2016 and later experienced hearing loss or tinnitus, you may be owed significant compensation from the manufacturer. Call now to find out if you qualify. Call Nightline Legal to speak with an experienced attorney for a free consultation. If we don't win, there is no fee. Call right now.
Call 1-800-392-6331.
Welcome back. It's the new Meadowlands, but not so new anymore. It's been around 5-6 years now, but nonetheless, it's a great venue, and there is a packed house today, Dave Brower.
Because the weather is so nice, that has brought the fans out in force. It's why we call it harness racing's greatest day, Gary, and there's something for everybody here today. The hat contest, some live music, the food trucks, and you know what? We've got the FanDuel Sportsbook here as well, where they have Hambletonian prop bets like the Super Bowl. So, like I said, a little something for everybody.
Well, here's a little something for everybody. A 2-to-1 shot in Millie's possession. Evident Beauty not far behind. And When Doves Cry, the faster of the two Oaks elimination winners, is currently 2-to-1 as well.
Well, we just saw Jim Campbell in the winner's circle for the Cashman, and he's got the filly to beat. And there she is, the magnificent Millie's Possession with her undefeated record at 8 for 8. She also is owned and was bred by Jules Siegel of the Fashion Farms as well. Dexter Dunn is the backup story here, Gary. He's in his first full season driving in North America. The New Zealander has caught on like a flash. He's got one of the top 3-year-old pacers that will race later today in the Cane Pace in Better's Wish, but he has driven this horse perfectly. So let's take a look at last week's elimination, and folks, I'm going to set you up for what will be an epic stretch duel here as they turn for home in the elimination last Saturday. There is Millie's Possession on the lead, digging in with Dexter Dunn, but here comes another top filly. That's Evident Beauty. That's Dave Miller for Nifty Norman. Watch Millie's Possession dig in with the heart of a champion to fend off Evident Beauty. You don't see too many good finishes like that, but that was a great one. They clicked the time in 1:52.3. There's the slow-mo, the winning margin ahead.
Well, the trainers of these two, Evident Beauty and Millie's Possession, no stranger to Oaks wins. Jim Campbell won it in 2009 with Broadway Schooner, and Nifty Norman's won it a couple of times, including with 2013 Horse of the Year, Be a Magician. All right, let's head over to Greg Blanchard. He is standing by with Jim Campbell.
Thank you, Gary. Jim, what an afternoon already, winning the Houghton and the Cashman, now trying to get it done here in the Hambletonian Oaks with Millie's Possession. Tell us about this filly. I mean, it doesn't seem like she wins by any more than she has to.
She's just a true professional. You know, she knows more than I do. She knows what she has to do, and she's just been super for us so far. You know, hopefully she can continue it again here today. But no matter what happens, she's a professional. She's a really good filly, and you know, I'm blessed to be training her.
And you never truly know how much fight they have in them until they're tested, and that was the case last week.
She's stepped up to the plate a couple different times, and especially last week. You know, Evident Beauty, who is very, very top-notch filly, looked her in the eye, and you know, Millie dug in, and you know, it sets up as a really good race. There's some really good fillies in here.
I know this is a big day for your family, the Hambletonian Day, and the success you've had. I want to wish you the best of luck again in this one.
Thank you, Greg. I appreciate it.
Back to you guys.
All right, so Greg Blanchard, thanks, and there's Jim Campbell already with the huge day, looking for even more. We are just moments away from the 2019 edition of the Hambletonian Oaks, $500,000 on the line. We'll have it for you when we return.
Our passion and our promise to breed the best and sell the best so you can race the best. Crawford Farms, home to more than 100 impeccably bred broodmares, sharing lush forever fields alongside racehorses and retirees. They call it the sport of kings. We call it the love of champions. From our farm to the winner's circle, share our passion. Crawford Farms.
New Jersey is made for summer fun. Where else can you scale ancient rocks than Coasters Wild? Or savor the blues, the reds, and the whites? See urban art and patriots in action. Stop for the daily catch and designer deals. Play in the surf and cast away. Here in New Jersey, every new day brings a brand new destination. Plan your getaway at visitnj.org.
My experience with USA Air has been excellent. They really appreciate the military family, and it really shows.
With all that USAA offers, why go with anybody else? We know their rates are good. We know that they're always going to take care of us.
It was an instant savings, and I should have changed a long time ago.
It was funny because when we would call another insurance company, they would say, oh, we can't be USAA.
We're the Weber family.
We're the Tennies.
We're the Hells, and we're USAA members for life.
Get your USAA auto insurance quote today.
My Pacifica hybrid minivan is so quiet, I can finally hear myself think. Can vegetarians still eat animal crackers? Another Pacifica. Safe choice, my friend.
That's Catherine Hahn in a Pacifica hybrid.
Selling on Poshmark is crazy simple. All you have to do is post a picture, add a description, add a price, and you're pretty much good to go. Right now I'm selling Air Jordans and Nikes and Adidas, anything really performance related or style related.
Download the free Poshmark app now.
DiGiorno pizza bakes fresh in your own oven and travels straight to your table. Unlike delivery that goes from oven to box to bag to car to traffic to wrong houses. Nobody delivers a piping hot and crispy crust like a DiGiorno pizza. It's not delivery, it's DiGiorno.
Why are we sneaking into the city when we could be at IHOP eating more crispy chicken?
You chicken at IHOP?
I never saw that coming. IHOP just snuck into the chicken game. New chicken and pancakes, only $6.99.
And young and old, they're here at the Meadowlands today on a beautiful afternoon in New Jersey, just moments away from the 2019 Hambletonian Oaks, a race that has been contested since 1971. We told you about Millie's Possession. The actual favorite here now, Dave, at 8-5 is When Doves Cry. And as I pointed out earlier, the faster of the two elimination winners last week, going practically wire to wire in a lifetime best, 151-3. There is a look at Evident Beauty, and David Miller trying to give trainer Nifty Norman his third win in this race, having won it with a 57-1 shot personal style, and then with 2013 Horse of the Year and the heavy favorite Be a Magician.
And she will be coming from off the pace today, Gary. I think that's the way they want to race here. There's When Doves Cry. She will be up and on or near the lead here. An easy winner of her elimination, the faster one last week in 151-3. Simon Allard will try to get her the trip that she needs.
All right, time for the Hambletonian Oaks. They're going after $500,000. Let's send it up to Ken Workington.
Hambletonian Oaks final for 2019, presented by the Gary family, and it's race 11, the Hambletonian Oaks. Field of 10, here they come. And they're off and trotting with Princess Dale out fast on the outside. Asiago, When Doves Cry. Simon Allard sends her to the front here. Southwind Kasha steps out sharply, so it's Southwind Kasha on the inside, engaging When Doves Cry. They around the first turn. Evident Beauty got away well in third. Millie's Possession, the undefeated filly, is fourth and looks to be out and on the move. And it's a three-wide surge from Princess Dale, fifth on the outside past the quarter. Then comes Sonic Grace. Asiago on the outside and Sweet Chapter on the rail, and Queen of Tricks is. And the early trailer is Miss Trixton. First quarter up was hot, 26 4/5 across the backstretch. Southwind Kasha, 55-1 bomb, but here comes When Doves Cry to the front here. When Doves Cry takes it away from long shot Southwind Kasha across the backstretch. Millie's Possession anxious to go on there. She is third as they near the half. Evident Beauty is fourth. Will look to follow her. To the outside, Princess Dale, stride, Sonic Grace saving ground, and then it's Sweet Chapter on the inside with Asiago on the outside, and Queen of Tricks is, and Miss Trixton, the half up in 54-4, a solid pace here. When Doves Cry, the fastest elimination winner, leads the way onto the far turn with 3/8 to go. Here comes Millie's Possession on the outside, getting in gear with Dexter Dunn, soon to be second as they head to three quarters. Southwind Kasha locked in the box third, and Evident Beauty on the outside needs to do more fourth, but she's inching a bit closer, still 4 lengths from the lead here. And dropping back on the inside, Sonic Grace is fifth. Three quarters in 1:23 into the stretch of the Hambletonian Oaks. When Doves Cry scoots off by 2, now 3. Millie's Possession is full out in second. Evident Beauty is on a break here. Asiago's closing in for third and looking for second. She's closing fast. When Doves Cry. Poetry in motion here with Simon Allard in the Hambletonian Oaks. It's When Doves Cry, then Millie's Possession, Asiago, and Miss Trixton. When Doves Cry, 150-2.
When Doves Cry, again the faster of the two elimination winners last week. She should be named When Doves Fly. She was absolutely flying, and once she took over the outcome really was never in doubt.
She was so special in her Meadowlands debut last week with Simon Allard aboard, and I thought she would be even stronger today, Gary. The Connections had a plan. They said they'll start their year with the Oaks. They hope to race her right through to the end of the season in the Matron. She scoots away from Millie's Possession, who was forced to grind on the outside. And here comes 13-1 long shot Asiago with Tim Tetrick. It's going to make it close for second, but she will end up third. An easy win for When Doves Cry. Unbelievable effort and great job by the horsemen and Connections involved.
You know, she won all but about $35,000 of her $326,000 lifetime earnings last year as a 2-year-old. And as a matter of fact, the Hambletonian Oaks Elim was her first stakes event of the year. Now she's won the Elim and the final, and both most impressively.
And like I said, that was by design. And she was an expensive yearling. We've got that as a theme for the day. She cost the Connections and owners $205,000 to bring her home from the Lexington Select sale a couple of years ago. She's owned by the Go Fast stable of Ohio, Saracen, Singh, and Larry Dumaine.
What an incredible job by her Connections. When Doves Cry takes the $500,000 Hambletonian Oaks.
The kangaroo's pouch provides comfort and security for the little ones inside. Possibly the inspiration behind Hanes Comfort Flex Fit with a breathable pouch. That and probably this. Hanes Comfort Flex Fit.
Lower carbs. Lower calories. Higher expectations. The light beer you've been waiting for has arrived.
Hey, Chris. Hey, Chris.
Where does he put the horse at?
Are we doing this bike thing again?
With all that USAA offers, why go with anybody else? We know their rates are good. We know that they're always going to take care of us.
It was an instant savings, and I should have changed a long time ago.
We're the Tennies, and we're USAA members for life.
Call USAA to start saving on insurance today.
Can my side be firm?
And my side's super soft.
With the Sleep Number 360 smart bed, you can both adjust your comfort with your Sleep Number setting.
So can it help us fall asleep faster?
Yes, by gently warming your feet.
But can it help keep me asleep?
Absolutely. It intelligently senses your movements and automatically adjusts to keep you both effortlessly comfortable.
Will it help me keep up with him?
Yep.
So you can really promise better sleep?
Not promise, prove. And now save up to $600 on select Sleep Number 360 smart beds. Plus, no interest until January 2022 on all smart beds. Only for a limited time.
Tired of lugging around big bags of pet food and litter? Get it delivered. Chewy.com delivers everything your pets need right to your door. They ship all your favorite brands of dog food, cat food, litter, toys, and treats, all at amazing prices. Plus, you get fast, free shipping. With Chewy.com, you don't have to break a sweat or the bank.
Save 30% on your first order and get fast, free shipping. Shop online at Chewy.com.
The new Purple Haze Standardbred Adoption Program is now open and plans to become the premier facility to find homes for retired harness horses in New York. Renowned horse owner Wanda Policini has developed Purple Haze to ensure that retired standardbreds find a second calling and profession. The only 100% standardbred adoption program in the state of New York, Purple Haze will be looking for placement to approved homes.
And welcome back to the Meadowlands, where When Doves Cry takes the $500,000 Hambletonian Oaks in a brilliant effort.
It was unbelievable, Gary. We found out which filly was best as of today. Simon Allard, 37-year-old, wins the Hamiltonian Oaks for the first time here. When Doves Cry, a magnificent daughter of Muscle Hill out of the mare Cedar Dove. She was bred by the late Bill Weaver, a name that we all know in the sport of harness racing here, and she certainly showed why she cost so much money. And look at her there taking a drink on this warm day. That, like we said, those conditions are in place. All of these horses are professional athletes as well. And let's see who ended up being the favorite, Gary. We're going to get a couple of new prices here. They're on board.
Well, there they are. And When Doves Cry, $660 for the win. And Millie's Possession just, wasn't a match for her today.
No match. And she had the tougher trip when she had to attack on the outside. As for the winner, When Doves Cry, that is the 4th straight Hambletonian Oaks, where the winner was sired by Muscle Hill.
2009 Horse of the Year, 2009 Hambletonian winner. And there's a look at John Campbell, somewhere in that group, I believe.
Yeah. Right there on the right.
All right, yeah, we're looking, right at the back of his head there. And that's what most of the drivers used to see in the races, particularly on Hambletonian days, was the back of John Campbell's head as he crossed under the wire first.
Yes, and he's now the president of the Hamiltonian Society, so he's directing all that mess there.
All right, let's head down to Greg Blanchard with the winning connections.
Thank you, Gary. Simon Allard, you're a Hambletonian Oaks champion. How does it feel?
It feels awesome. We work hard and come from a long way, Small town. My parents are here. A lot of people that help us out, like Eve Sarazan is here, the part owner, and Cap Singh, and everybody that, it takes a lot of babies to make it, to have a good one like this.
Certainly family involvement. You've got your daughter here with you. That's fantastic. And, last week this filly really impressed in her elimination, but it was going to be a lot tougher today going against the undefeated Millie's Possession.
Yeah, she's a good filly, and I wasn't sure how it was going to work out, but kind of like the 5-0. I knew I could have probably gotten a better spot than she did, so that's what exactly happened. Like, I thought I'd be 1-2 with David, and Millie would come first over, and that's what exactly happened, but it's not always the way we think.
You had to use your filly pretty hard for early position. Were there any concerns that the fractions maybe were too strong?
It's so fast today. A lot of horses win on the front end. Beautiful track. Horses are sharp, and if they're good and they're best, it don't matter where they sit. I think they're just actually the front end. It really helps today.
Congratulations. We'll let you go enjoy the celebration.
Thank you very much.
Back to you guys.
All right, Greg, thanks so much. And again, congratulations to the winning connections of When Doves Cry. Let's take a look at the full order of finish here. And Millie's Possession, second best. Asiago with a great late trot kick.
Big late rally. And there was one other trainer that had 2 in here, 26-year-old Lucas Wallen. He's going to finish 5th and 6th with Princess Deo, and Queen of Tricks is here. When Doves Cry, a spectacular performance. The plan has worked to perfection.
All right, so When Doves Cry comes away with a big win, first win for the Allard brothers.
And we're even right now. You had the winner of the Cashman Memorial with Crystal Fashion at a nice big upset, and I had the winner of the Oaks. So it'll come down to the Hambletonian to see who's the best handicapper on the show today.
Well, why don't I have that cash in my pocket? Oh, wait, because we're doing a show. Anyhow, we'll be back. We'll have a trophy presentation in the Hambletonian. We'll have the Hambo trophy when we come back. We'll do that as we go to break. Let's take a look at that. It's a beautiful trophy. We're going to take a break. When we return, somebody's walking away with that today. Who will it be? It could be a horse that starts with the letter G.
The exciting history of harness racing lives at the Harness Racing Museum and Hall of Fame in Goshen, New York.
Admire our newest exhibit, The Fine Art of Harness Racing.
Explore the collections of Billy Houghton, Stanley Dancer, and Delvin Miller.
Check out our vintage treasures from the Hambletonian and the Little Brown Jug.
Visit our gift shop and watch horses train at Goshen Historic Track.
If you like harness racing, you will love the Harness Racing Museum.
Keeping the night interesting is all about setting the right tone. Lower carbs, lower calories, higher expectations. The light beer you've been waiting for has arrived. Corona Premier.
Right now, lease the Infiniti QX50 for $379 a month, plus get a $1,000 summer bonus now during the Infiniti Plus summer sales event.
Shh. We're sneaking. Just like IHOP sneaking into the chicken game with crispy chicken made with all-natural chicken breast. Actually, let's go back to IHOP.
New chicken and pancakes, only $6.99 at IHOP.
And Doug.
Look, Limu, a civilian buying a new car. Let's go.
Limu's right. Liberty Mutual could save you money by customizing your car insurance, so you only pay for what you need.
Oh, yeah, I've been a customer for years.
Huh.
Only pay for what you need.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Tell him we're flexible.
Don't worry. My Dutch is okay.
Just okay?
Mm-hmm. Deze man is erg super.
Tell him we need this merger.
En hij heeft een knuffel nodig.
Knuffel?
It's happening.
Just okay is not okay, especially when it comes to your network. AT&T is America's best wireless network according to America's biggest test. Now with 5G Evolution, the first step to 5G. More for your thing. That's our thing.
At Domino's, we're more than just pizza for $5.99. We're $5.99 bread twists, $5.99 sandwiches, $5.99 pastas, $5.99 chicken, and yes, $5.99 pizza too. We didn't stop at pizza, and you don't have to either.
Well, tonight at 10 Eastern, CBS Sports Network is live from Las Vegas for the World Team Tennis Finals. Don't miss it as Springfield battles New York for this year's title on the 24-hour home of CBS Sports. Well, 30 years ago, 1989, the only Hambletonian dead heat, Probe and Park Avenue Joe.
Ron Waples on the inside, Bill Fay on the outside. They're going to come down to the wire in what was one of the most memorable calls of announcer Tom Durkin's career. Too close to call when they went under the wire. There's a picture of the photo finish print, Gary. I was the official teletimer of this race, so I started and stopped that clock. When they hit the line, I looked over at my buddy Charlie, who was making that picture. I said, I think we've got a problem.
Well, the problem is that, in fact, we had a dead heat. We had a couple of sets of winners in the winner's circle, making for a lot of people taking up space. But back then, it was in the old building. Things were a little more comfy there.
And the judges had such a difficult decision. They ended up placing Park Avenue Joe first by order of summary. Of course, it went to court. It took years to decide, and then they finally made them co-Hambletonian champions.
All right, let's take a look at the current odds for the final of the $1 million Hambletonian. And again, 3 in here for trainer Marcus Malanda. That is Green Shoe, Green Matalucci, and Jim Pansy.
Green Shoe, I started him at 3 to 5 on the morning line, but we all know, Gary, he's going to go off at 1 to 5 or maybe even 1 to 9. That is the lowest price possible on the tote board. That means he could pay anywhere from $2.10 to win up to $2.60. He drew post 2 after winning his elimination for Brian Sears. I guess the only thing we really have to worry about again is the start of the race to see if he throws his head or any other antics. Once he gets away safely, though, it will be his race to win, unless, as I said in the open, he beats himself.
What did you think about pilot Discretion? A bit of a disappointment there, particularly after a very strong elimination.
Yeah, he was good at the end of the mile there. The best thing that happened to him was that he drew the rail for Andrew McCarthy, his dryer. So he will just sit in, save ground, and try to get lucky late. In daytime racing, if you have that inside post, sometimes you just have to keep up.
So Hall of Fame driver Brian Sears, who has 3 Hambletonian wins, the most of any active driver looking for his 4th, had a choice to make. Jim Pansy or Green Shoe. We kind of figured who it was going to be, but Greg Blanchard caught up with him earlier after the elims and talked about that and other things as well.
Brian Sears, certainly no stranger to the Hamiltonian winner circle. And coming in today, you had a couple of the big guns going into the elims. Based on how they raced, should we make any assumptions on who you'll pick in the final?
obviously I might be leaning towards Green Shoe. He's been, he's got such a talent. He's a little bit more work than the other horse, but I'm probably leaning towards Green Shoe.
This colt is being compared to the great Muscle Hill, who you drove, and being a generational talent. Is that a fair comparison at this point?
He's got a lot of work to do to reach that comparison, but Muscle Hill, he pretty much went unbeaten his whole career. This horse, he has some unbelievable gait, unbelievable speed, and he's a joy to drive when he's on his game.
Anything to work on at all prior to the final, or was he flawless?
We're going to talk about a couple things before the race that we might change, but I was pretty happy with him, and I think he'll only get better in the second heat.
Best of luck.
Thank you very much.
That's Brian Sears, guys.
All right, well, Green Shoe obviously is the one to beat here and a prohibitive favorite currently on the odds board. But let's talk about some of the other contenders, because in fact, Dave, this is still a horse race and anything can happen.
It is, and this is a truly good field here, Gary. If we take a look at the top down there, you talked about Pilot Discretion on the rail. The one I really want to key on, though, is the other Malanda horses here. Green Manalishi, who was so impressive in his elimination, overcoming that outside post there. He's up on the board right now. Hey, that's the same price he paid in the Elim, odds of 9-1, but he took a huge step forward today. This is a horse that they started slow with. He eventually got a little bit better. They got him right where they want him now. Can he put a little bit of a scare in his stablemate? I think he can. Jim Pansy, I was disappointed with his elimination, and now that he drew post 7 here, he's going to get a new driver, and I think that will be too tough of a spot for him.
All right, 2-5 on Green Shoe, the heavy favorite here in the Hambletonian final. Well, we are getting closer and closer by the moment, and one of the things we need to do to introduce the horses is have the All-Star Buglers. All-Star Buglers, and they are here each and every year on Hamiltonian Day, and it's time for us to begin taking a look at the field for the $1 million Hambletonian. And number 1 in the field is Pilot Discretion. And Pilot Discretion, again, a little disappointing in his elimination here. Only 2 starts last year, both wins after getting sick in October. Trainer Tony Alagna decided it was best to end the cold season. He said it may have been the best thing that ever happened to his talented trotter because he came back really good this year.
And there's Tony, and there's Andrew McCarthy, his driver. Pilot Discretion was unbeaten until just a couple of weeks ago when he ran into a monstrous Green Shoe in the Stanley Dancer Memorial. He's been perfectly prepared by one of the sport's top trainers. He's co-owned by harness mainstays David Anderson and John Federa. And how about this, Gary? Retired IBM Vice President Robert LeBlanc. He's only been in the business a couple of years. He told us to watch for him screaming loudly on the apron.
And there's a look at number 2, and at his head, also trainer Marcus Malanda. Green Shoe, the fastest 3-year-old trotter this year by virtue of his 150-1 win in a division of the Stanley Dancer Memorial. And here today, Hall of Famer driver Brian Sears has won the Hambo 3 times, the most, as I said, of any active driver.
And there's caretaker Michaela Malanda, who has been with Green Shoe since day 1. He entered the day as the horse to beat, and nothing has changed. He's been the perfect gentleman under Malanda and Brian Sears' tutelage. This was his choice. Co-owners with Courant, soccer legend Hans Backe, Lars Gronqvist, and Morten Langley. Sears has won 3 Hambletonians before, will today make it 4.
Number 3 is Don't Let 'Em. His sire, Muscle Hill, was the last horse to win the biggest race for 2-year-old trotters, the Peter Houghton Memorial in 2008, and the Hambletonian the following year. This colt has a chance to do the same with a win today, and he set a stakes record in that Houghton win last year.
What a turnaround for this colt over his past few starts. Shoeing changes have worked, and he entered today off the race of his life in the Reynolds last week. Nancy Johansson won a $1 million race in June with a pacer. She'll try to add a Hambletonian.
And a look at number 4, that is Green Manalishi. Great elimination win today. First over, renamed by owner Anders Strom for the Peter Green Fleetwood Mac song of the same name, and covered by the owner's favorite band, Judas Priest. Who knew?
We told you.
Go ahead. Gabe.
We told you about that auction price, about $365,000. A little slow to come around for Malanda, but he's turned the corner strongly of late. He wore pop-out earplugs in his last prep, and Tim Tetrick said it scared him, and he almost broke.
And next up is number 5. That is Marseille, the only horse to beat Green Shoe this year, pulling off a 57-1 upset of the heavy favorite in the Beal Memorial for trainer-driver Åke Svanstedt. The Swedish horseman was elevated to the win in the 2017 Hambletonian with Perfect Spirit, who was second that year to What the Hill, the only Hambo winner ever disqualified.
And Marseille is an intriguing finalist here for Mr. Svanstedt. We all remember that story 2 years ago. He had a debacle with Six-Pack last week. He's proven, though, that win in the Beal was no fluke.
Number 6, Forbidden Trade, the 2018 O'Brien Award winner as Canada's top 2-year-old trotter. Trainer Luke Blaze has had one Hambletonian starter, Jake in 2017, who failed to make the final.
And he's been kept north of the border so far by his trainer Luke Blaze, who conditions the colt for Serge Godin's Determination. 28-year-old Bob McClure is one of Canada's rising star drivers here. This is his Hambo debut, and he's come back from a bad accident earlier this year.
Number 7, Jim Pansy, the 2018 Dan Patch Award winner, is America's best 2-year-old trotting colt. Even though most of his wins have come in New York bred races, he did win the Breeders' Crown against open competition last year, defeating stablemate Green Manalishi in the process.
He suffered his first career loss earlier today in the Elim. He's been campaigned mostly on the New York Sire Stakes circuit, but ended his 2-year-old season with a monster win in the Breeders' Crown. Dave Miller will get the substitute drive for the $1 million final.
And number 8, that is Cantab Fashion. 30-year-old driver Scott Zeron has already won the Hambletonian twice in his career. Last year with the filly Atlanta, the 14th female trotter to win the sport's biggest race. And in 2016 with Marion Marauder, who we saw earlier. And Marauder went on to become the 9th trotting Triple Crown winner.
They've been playing catch-up with this 2-year-old star from last year, but trainer Jim Campbell was very happy with his last performance, says he's getting better and stronger. He'd love to win another Hambo for his longtime client, 92-year-old Jules Siegel. They did it back in 1995 with Tagliabue when Hall of Famer John Campbell drove.
And the 9, that is
Sturch,
the 2018 Pennsylvania Sire Stakes champion. This colt seems to be his own worst enemy this year, having made breaks in 3 of his last 7 now. He was trained by Hall of Famer Jimmy Takter as a 2-year-old and transferred to Per Engblom's barn following Takter's retirement last year, but he had a much improved elimination earlier today.
Sturch is named after a longtime Takter and Engblom barn hand, Tomas Sturch, who succumbed to cancer earlier this year. This is a homebred for Crisanta Takter and Goran Falk here, and look who's in the sulky seat. I don't know, Gary, that doesn't look like retirement to me.
No, sure doesn't, but we've seen him in the sulky of late, particularly when we get closer and closer to Hambletonian Day. And number 10 in the field to round things out, Soul Strong, winless in 8 starts as a 2-year-old, and the field's lowest money earner, 60-year-old trainer-driver Åke Svanstedt, in his 6th season of racing in North America after moving from the U.S. to Sweden, and he was named Sweden's Trainer of the Year 5 times, Driver of the Year on 3 occasions.
And both Svanstedt horses make the final, but this gelding gets the services of one of North America's hottest new pilots. That is Dexter Dunn. This is his first year in the States, and he's made a big splash. He won an earlier race this afternoon. We will see if Soul Strong can overcome the worst post possible, but he was flying late in his elimination, Gary.
He came from out of the clouds in the Elim and really showed some strong late trot there, so don't overlook him. He'll be a huge price and is a pretty big price at 15-1 currently. All right, we're going to take a break. You've taken a look at the field for this year's Hambletonian final, going for $1 million. The race is straight ahead. We'll be back.
Our horse racing and breeding industries are vitally important to Pennsylvania. The Standardbred Breeders Association of Pennsylvania proudly represents breeders located in every corner of the Commonwealth. These farms preserve green space. They provide thousands of jobs and significant economic impact. And they're also home to the next generation of Standardbred champions. For more, please visit us online at standardbredbreederspa.org.
Thanks, Golden Corral. Dan gets a slow smoked sirloin, and my little trio are as happy as shrimp. Oops, clamps. And Mom got it all. Hook, line, and sirloin. The slow smoked sirloin and shrimp trio. Golden Corral, the only one for everyone.
At Domino's, we're more than just pizza for $5.99. We're $5.99 bread twists, $5.99 sandwiches, $5.99 pastas, $5.99 chicken, and yes, $5.99 pizza too. We didn't stop at pizza, and you don't have to either.
Hi. Most people know me for my award-winning comedy, but I also used to be a doctor.
It's just like most people know State Farm for home and auto insurance. We've also won 5 J.D. Power Awards in a row for life insurance.
I don't know how you got those in there, but I'm impressed.
Now what?
I don't know.
Life insurance you didn't expect from the company you know you can trust. State Farm.
Do you use catheters? Are you using the catheter that's really best for you?
Oh, yeah. For years, I'd been using one kind of catheter, and I never knew that there were other really great catheters available until Liberator sent me samples to try. If I had not tried the samples from Liberator, I might never have found the perfect catheter for me. Liberator Medical sent me a catheter that was easier for me to use right out of the package. Now that I've found the best catheter for me, it's made my life much easier. My catheters were completely paid for, not a dime out of my pocket.
There are so many innovative catheters. Get the best catheter for you. Call Liberator Medical. Get your free catheter sample pack.
Call 1-800-662-9549. That's 1-800-662-9549.
Relationship status, widowed.
For height, just put 6 even.
That's not how tall I am.
Who cares? Who's gonna know?
If I meet her, I might stand up.
Can you move? He's doing it wrong.
Favorite thing to do in bed? Cuddle.
If I'm being honest, I really like...
Cuddle.
Okay. Are you ready to begin your journey? It's a really big step, guys.
You did it. Yay!
No, he didn't. You did it for him.
I used his finger.
The Unicorn, coming to CBS this fall.
Welcome back, everybody. The 94th Hambletonian, straight ahead. Curadaz and Green Shoe really hasn't moved much on the board at 2-5. Don't let him, though. Are you surprised at 11-1?
I am, but that's about what I made him in the morning line, 10-1. He was okay in his elimination, so he safely got it into the final. They may change strategy here, Gary, with Don't Let Him and try and fire out with some more speed. There is Yannick Gingras. We know of his bad luck in the Hambletonian. Could this be the year where he springs an unlikely upset? Well, that would be wonderful for his connections. Again, the shoeing changes have worked. They've gone to plastic shoes up front, and they switched him behind from steel to aluminum. That lightens him up quite a bit, and the horse has responded tremendously.
All right, as we saw in 1989, that amazing dead heat, the only one in Hambletonian history between Park Avenue Joe and Pro. But we've been talking so much about Muscle Hill today. For that, let's once again bring in Greg Blanchard. Greg.
Well, thank you, Gary. Yes, it was 10 years ago when Muscle Hill completed Operation Hambletonian for trainer Greg Peck and driver Brian Sears. He set the stakes record of 150-1 on that day, a record that still stands today, and his stamp is all over the Hambletonian this year. In fact, 22 overall starters sired by him on today's program, and 6 of them going into the Hamiltonian Eliminations. Muscle Hill was considered a generational talent, and we'll see today if Green Shoe can be the next one of those. Guys?
All right, Greg, thanks so much. And obviously, the crowd believes that will be the case, 1-5. There is Green Mountalishi right now, and another Muscle Hill as we take a look at some of the horses out there getting ready to go. Some of the records as well, the Meadowlands racetrack records, and obviously you work with these every single racing night here at the track. 150-1, Muscle Hill, Brian Sears, and that is the stakes record.
You heard Greg reference that as it still stands today. We will see. A lot of people have talked about possibly the first sub-150 Hambletonian. We know that Green Shoe is a horse with that kind of talent and ability, but I will say this, Gary. Brian Sears doesn't usually care about track records. He has said that many times in the past. He just wants to win. However, another quote when it talks about Green Shoe there, he has said, this horse has gears that other others don't. That's high praise from Brian Sears here. I'm sure he feels very, very confident, but he'll be holding his breath until they get through that start with no issues. That's the key to the race, the start of when the gate snaps, if the horse is responding and if he's trotting out smoothly, he's going to be awfully tough to beat.
And ironically, he made breaks in all 4 starts as a 2-year-old, but still wound up winning 2 of them. He has, in essence, minded his manners this year, but you are absolutely right. You could see it right at the gate. His head was up and moving more than a driver would want that to happen.
And thank God Brian Sears knows him so well. He'll allow him to do that, but he just trots out smoothly. That is the key. Here's a look at number 8. That's Cantab Fashion. That would complete what would be a huge day, of course, for Jim Campbell and the connections there. He tired a little bit in his elimination, Gary, from the rail start. Now he's got post 8. That's not going to help.
And a look at the 10, Soul Strong, who, as we both noticed and everybody else did, came from the clouds, came from out of nowhere, wasn't even in the camera shot till maybe about 25 yards outside the wire.
It was a great drive by Dexter Dunn. He saved ground all the way, angled out in heavy traffic, and once Soul Strong hit his gear, the gelding came storming home in 26-4, Gary. That's the fastest Soul Strong has trotted, 150-4, but post 10, I just don't see how he gets into the race.
All right, well, I was just going to ask you if you thought post 10 might help him out the way he closed so strongly. Would he need just a sizzling pace up front?
Yes, he would.
All right. Well, it's a milestone Hambletonian call this year for the 60-year-old Toronto native Ken Workington. This is his 20th Hambletonian call today. And without further ado, let's send it up to Ken Workington.
Thanks again, Gary. 1-5 here on 2 Green Shoe. Brian Sears looking for his 4th Hambletonian at 7-1. The 7 Chimpanzee taking a bit of action here. Dave Miller, the Hall of Famer, picks up the assignment for $1 million. The 94th Hambletonian, the 2019 Hambletonian, race 12. Here they come.
Yeah, look at his head.
And they're off in the Hamiltonian as Marseille and Oki Svanstead flashing speed. Marseille, Forbidden Trade from between horses, and Osterch on the far outside coming on with Pilot Discretion cutting the corner into the first turn. Marseille to the front again. Pilot Discretion into the second spot, and Green Manalishi assumes third. Forbidden Trade is parked out fourth. Tactor going up with Osterch on the outside fifth. Green Shoe is wedged in sixth right now and slips out in front of Don't Let Him. And then it's Chimpanzee with a slow beginning, followed by Cantab Fashion on the inside and Soul Strong. First quarter was sharp, 26-1. Marseille on the engine out of second. Pilot Discretion. Andrew McCarthy takes over across the backstretch. Green Manalishi and Tim Tetrick tightening in from third towards the half. Forbidden Trade edging to the outside, fourth. Looking to follow him is Green Shoe underway, fifth on the outside now as they pass the half. Then it's Osterch on the inside. Osterch is followed by a Cantab Fashion stride for stride with Don't Let Him. And then it's Chimpanzee and Soul Strong, the half up in 55 seconds, rated half mile here. Pilot Discretion in front. Green Manalishi now sticks a long neck in front. He forces the issue with Forbidden Trade right there on the outside, but he has stalled. Marseille is pinned in fourth now, and forced three wide. Green Shoe needs to get going here, and he's floundering on the rim at this point as they pass three quarters in 1:23 and 2, and it's Green Manalishi who leads them home in the Hambletonian. Green Manalishi and fighting back. Pilot Discretion has more. Marseille on the inside. Forbidden Trade looking for a huge upset. Here comes Green Shoe, unleashed by Brian Sears. Green Shoe with a sharp straight kick, and he's drawing clear, fighting back. Forbidden Trade on the inside. Green Shoe, Forbidden Trade with a gigantic upset. Forbidden Trade. Green Shoe flying late was Chimpanzee, and Soul Strong 151.
Yes.
Unbelievable. There is so much going on in this Hambletonian final, Dave Brower. Where do we begin?
We begin at the start, Gary, because like we said, we needed Green Shoe to get a good alert start. He did not get it. He acted up for his driver, Brian Sears, taking a few bad steps, as we would like to say. He never really made a break, but it got him off to a slow start. He was bottled up a little bit early, and I think that made the difference in the race.
Bob McClure has said, I think the sky is the limit for this colt. this is the limit. This is the sky. Winning the Hambletonian, he did it today by the smallest of margins. Green Shoe almost coming back for Brian Sears, but was denied by Forbidden Trade.
Now watch post 2. You see Green Shoe, looks like he wants to go through the starting gate, Gary. Brian Sears doing everything he can.
And actually, he ran there for a little bit, too, behind the gate.
Maybe we'll see if the judges chart him with a break, but finally he does get him under control, if you want to call it that. But plenty of outside speed from the outside, including the eventual first-place finisher, Forbidden Trade. That's Bob McClure. You said Marseille would fire out, and some long shots from the outside.
And Brian Sears, knowing that Green Shoe was very delicate here in the Hambletonian final, had to settle him back, probably farther back than he wanted to at the beginning. And then once he pulled him on the backstretch, he actually got jammed up a little bit by the horse in front of him, too.
He did. It was a nightmare trip. Now, as we settle on the backstretch, that's Andy McCarthy with Pilot Discretion, who has moved to the front there. On the outside, elimination winner Green Manalishi is going to apply some incredible pressure for Tim Tetrick. These two nice colts are going to go at it head-to-head on the final turn. Bob McClure is perfectly positioned from second over. He kicks off his cover as we turn to the top of the stretch, taking aim on Green Manalishi. There's Green Shoe. Looks like he's about to hit his top stride, but we see the heart of a champion, Gary. We see Forbidden Trade dig in like a good horse. There's McClure asking for everything, and he got a lot.
Well, Bob McClure, 28-year-old, making his Hambletonian debut this year. Not unfamiliar, though, with winning at the Meadowlands on Hambletonian Day. Won the 2018 John R. Steele Memorial for Female Trotters with Dream Together, trained by Luke Blaze. The winning connections here. All right, we're going to take a break, and we'll take another look and then wrap it all up here on Hambletonian Day.
Group moving in, lining up behind the gate. It's the Breeders' Crown Final. Lazarus at the inside. McWicked on the outside. Just won't go away. And McWicked does it the tough way. He's wicked.
I want it.
I can't believe it.
That car brought his karaoke machine.
Nothing but a heartache.
No, I can't believe how easy it was to save hundreds of dollars on my car insurance with Geico.
Tell me why. You say.
Go, Kevin. Go, Kevin. No.
Believe it, Geico could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
It's the flashback sale at Mattress Firm. We're celebrating the year we were founded with a special price from 1986. A flashback price of $169 on a new Sleepy's Queen mattress. Plus, for a limited time, get up to $400 on throwback deals. And Wednesday through Sunday only, take home a free adjustable base. Up to a $699 value, absolutely free. But hurry in, these awesome blasts from the past savings won't last forever. Your budget stretches further at Mattress Firm.
Time is on your side. Inspiration is in your hands. And a new bathroom is within your reach. The Home Depot has a top-rated selection of vanities, faucets, lighting, and more, all in one place. So yeah, today is the day for doing. Why let the kids have all the fun? Shop vanities starting at just $139. The Home Depot. More saving, more doing.
At Domino's, we're more than just pizza for $5.99. We're $5.99 bread twists, $5.99 sandwiches, $5.99 pastas, $5.99 chicken, and yes, $5.99 pizza too. We didn't stop at pizza, and you don't have to either.
Sail GP, the world's fastest sail racing on water. Nathan Outeridge and Tom Slingsby's rivalry continues in Cows, but don't rule out Dylan Fletcher. Sail GP England, next Saturday at 2 on CBS Sports Network.
Coming up next, meet CBS Sports Network at the lanes for the PWBA East Hartford Open as the remaining 6 bowlers compete in the stepladder finals, only on the 24-hour home of CBS Sports. Well, a look at Forbidden Trade, your 2019 Hambletonian winner, and big price in here, but believers in both Luke Blaze, his trainer, and driver Bob McClure.
The son of Cadabra was bred by Steve Stewart of Hunterton Farms out of Kentucky. Determination, that's the name of owner Serge Godin. His longtime trainer has been Luke Blaze, who's only entered the Hambletonian once before. He comes out on top today, and what a story. 28-year-old driver Bob McClure, who came back from a racing accident earlier this year.
Let's send it over to Greg Blanchard. Greg.
Thank you, guys. And they mentioned that serious accident you were in, Bob, just back in April, not that long ago. Now you're in the Hamiltonian winner's circle. Can you describe it?
No, it's hard to put into words. I kept repeating it on the way over, but I don't think it's sunk in yet.
And just walk us through the trip, and especially the last half of the race where it looked like you might get a good piece of it and then at some point win it.
Well, I was really happy with the way the trip was working out. I just didn't know exactly where Green Shoe was. I was hoping he wasn't right on my back, but my horse just raced phenomenal. Luke's done a great job with him, and I couldn't be happier.
Final question, has to be a big thrill to win this for owner Serge Godin.
He invests so much in the business, and Luke does a great job taking care of it, and he's the best owner I've ever driven for. He takes good care of you. He doesn't put any pressure on you, so I'm so lucky to have them.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Bob McClure, guys.
All right, so a look at Forbidden Trade, a $110,000 standard-bred horse sale in Harrisburg. We'll be back to wrap it all up in a moment.
Hanover Shoe Farms is proud to introduce our class of 2019, including Ethan T. Hanover, bar-hopping brother to Emoticon Hanover, Batter Up Hanover, first crop of bedding line out of a daughter of Bunny Lake, Good as Him Hanover, full brother to Father Patrick, Faraday Hanover, full sister to Filibuster Hanover, Derailed Hanover, Cantab Hall's sister to Donato Hanover, over 200 other exceptional yearlings selling this fall.
Keeping the night interesting is all about setting the right tone. Lower carbs, lower calories, higher expectations. The light beer you've been waiting for has arrived. Corona Premier.
DiGiorno pizza bakes fresh in your own oven and travels straight to your table. Unlike delivery that goes from oven to box to bag to car to traffic to wrong houses. Nobody delivers a piping hot and crispy crust like a DiGiorno pizza. It's not delivery, it's DiGiorno.
I'm really getting a vacation vibe off of this mocktail slot.
This has transported me to some peaceful beach.
We needed to get away.
From what?
From that parking space.
Oh, yeah, we were there last week.
Oh, week!
Get them while you can. New mocktail slushes like Pina Colada.
Attention Medicare beneficiaries. Are you getting the benefits you deserve? Many Medicare recipients are not aware of all the benefits available to them, which may include vision, dental, prescriptions, and more. Some plans have no copays or no deductibles. Some even have $0 monthly premiums. These benefits may be available to you right now. Call now to find out what you are eligible for. The MedicareAdvantage.com hotline is taking calls right now. The call is free and there's no obligation. Take the first step to protect your health. Call now to get the additional benefits you deserve. Many of these plans include coverage for dental, vision, and prescriptions. Plus, some may have no copays or no deductibles. Call MedicareAdvantage.com. You may not have to wait for the Medicare annual enrollment period. You may be able to get additional coverage now. The sooner you call, the sooner you can get the benefits you deserve.
Call 800-305-0275. That's 800-305-0275. Call now.
The crowd is so loud you can't hear them anymore. A cowboy's safety is provided by a few good men. His fistful of rope is the only bond between man and beast. Those 8 seconds go by mighty quick in the house of PBR.
The
The 2019 Hamiltonian Stakes on CBS Sports Network is sponsored by New Jersey Travel and Tourism. Go to visitnj.org.
All right, let's take a look at the full order of finish here. Green Shoe, a desperate second here, missing by maybe a half a head. Forbidden Trade, the winner. Jim Pansy quietly finishing third, and Soul Strong was strong again in the final. Green Manalishi winding up finishing fifth, a tough day for him. All right, let's head down to Gabe Pruitt, one of the newest members of the team here at the Meadowlands and a talented young broadcaster. Gabe.
Thanks so much, Gary, and pleased to be standing by here with the Winning Connections. Also, John Campbell, President and CEO of the Hamiltonian Society, Mr. Jeff Gorell, our chairman of the New Meadowlands Racetrack, and Jason Settlemore, our general manager. And John, if you'd like to present the winning trophy to the Connections here, trader Luke Blay, and we've got driver Bob McClure.
Luke, Bob, congratulations on a great victory. On behalf of the Hamiltonian Society, its board of directors and staff, the New Meadowlands, Jeff Gorell, Jason Settlemore, and their staff, it's my pleasure to present you the most sought-after trophy in harness racing. Congratulations. Great job.
Luke, what were you thinking during the stretch drive there? You had to fight off a very tough horse in Green Shoe. Did you have confidence your colt could get it done?
Well, yeah, it was, a race is a race. When you hit him, you got a chance. And I think my horse, he raced super good in the elimination. He finished strong, and Bob told me, he said, fuck, I like him in the end. After that, it's anybody's game. I had a big confidence after that.
Bob, pretty great day for your first Hamiltonian drive.
Absolutely, yeah.
Congratulations, guys. That's a story downstairs. Dave and Gary, we'll send it back to you.
All right, Gabe, thanks so much. And what a day again here at the Hambletonian. And Dave, the three races that we had on the show, not one favorite one.
And that's incredible, but it's Hambletonian Day, and anything can happen at this point, though. Forbidden Trade, a true deserving winner of the Hamiltonian, last year's O'Brien champion up in Canada.
All right, so Luke Blaze and Bob McClure both combined for their first Hambletonian victories today, and at a pretty big price as well, $33.80 for the win. That is huge. Well, what a great day we've had. So for Dave Brower, Greg Blanchard, and our entire crew, I'm Gary Seibel saying so long from the Meadowlands, where Forbidden Trade has won the 94th Hambletonian. This has been a presentation of CBS Sports Network, the 24-hour home of CBS Sports. And make sure that you stay tuned for PWBA East Hartford Open. That is coming up next. Take care, everyone.